Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are doing a blush haul, blush collection. I'm going to sit here and swatch through every single blush in my collection. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. Now, if you're wondering if this says Chantecaille on it, you are correct. So I didn't get this directly from Chantecaille. Rather, my Chantecaille sales associate, Jessica, sent this to me in one of my latest packages, and I was so thrilled. I mean, I love getting samples, but I love getting coffee travel mugs like this because I love coffee so much, and I love Chantecaille, so it's just like a perfect marriage. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I'm a makeup artist as well as esthetician, and I now offer one-on-one beauty consulting services. So this is a one-on-one virtual consultation where we talk about any and all concerns you might have. Whether it's your skincare, your makeup. It's getting a little bit colder now. The months and the seasons are changing. So if you have questions or concerns about your current skincare routine or your foundation routine, we can make an appointment and just talk to each other one-on-one. So if you want to make an appointment, there's a link below in the description box. Okay, let's go ahead and start off with some Chantecaille. So the first one here is this Cheek Gelée. It's this whipped gel cream liquid blush, and I have the shade called Vibrant. This is so opaque, and it's also so incredibly bright. A little bit goes a very long way. This is also safe for the eyes if you want to use it as well. It's a really lovely long wear color. I'm trying my best to use as much of it as I can, but as I said, a tiny little bit goes a long way. I think if you are interested in liquid blushes and you want bang for your buck, these Chantecaille Cheek Gelées are where it's at because you get so much product. There's 23 milliliters of product or 0.80 fluid ounces. And just to compare to this regular Chanel blush here, this one here is 4 grams, which according to Google, 4 grams is equal to 0.14 ounces, and this is 0.8 ounces. So you just get a lot of product. Next up from Chantecaille, this is the Aqua Blush in Marigold. So these came out, I think, 2 years ago. Last year, it was a summer collection. I'm not sure if they're still available for sale. I hope they are because these feel fantastic. They literally feel cool. They feel like an ice cube. They have this interesting cooling sensation, and this marigold shade is a bit brighter, a bit punchier, a bit more coral. And this one again is just huge in terms of product size, like how much you get. This one has 8.5 grams of product. It's just a lot. And the texture is so cool. I really appreciate when luxury companies do something a little bit different, either the packaging or the product texture or a sensation. I'm just a really big fan of that. And then last from Chantecaille in the blush category is this duo here. This is from this summer. This is the Coral Manta Ray palette. And this here is just a really beautiful, vibrant coral. I am partial to coral, as you might guess. I love orange colors, and I think this is super flattering. I bought it online, so I wasn't exactly sure how it would look, but I think it's a beautiful item. Okay, and moving on to some Westman Atelier. I love this brand, and I have this blush here called Mignette. It's the most perfect peachy color, and I definitely want to get many more of these blushes. I think there's maybe 6 or 7 to choose from, and they all look lovely. It's a lovely cream texture, so it just looks really youthful and dewy. And I find that cream blushes usually last longer than powder. Something about the formula and the texture just seems to adhere to the skin and just kind of keeps that youthfulness all day long. I also just really appreciate the packaging. It feels very heavy and weighty, and there's this magnet here on the top, so it just snaps together just like that. It's very satisfying. Now I have another stick blush here from Sisley. This is a super fun color. It's called Fuchsia. It's exactly that. It's this super bright fuchsia pink. I love the packaging. I love that it's zebra striped and has this beautiful pink color. But when I compare this to Westman Atelier, for example, it has a little bit less product. The Sisley one is 5.5 grams, where the Westman Atelier is 6 grams. But this feels so lightweight. This feels heavy and hefty and very substantial. Whereas this blush just feels like the wind could just take it away with a big gust. I don't really like that. I like when luxury items feel luxury. So while I do appreciate the black and white with the pink pop of color, I do hope that in the future they reformulate the packaging to make it feel a little bit more luxury and you can kind of sense what you're spending your money on, because with this one here from Westman Atelier, I get it, like I get the whole thing. With this one from Sisley, while I do love the color and I love how it makes my cheeks look, I just think it's lacking a little bit in the packaging department, if I'm being perfectly honest. And now I have this blush stick here from Fenty Beauty. This is Rihanna's makeup line. This one here is called Ridic, and it's just the most beautiful orangey blush. It has a little soft hue to it. I wouldn't say it's glittery. It has almost like a satin finish, and you definitely can go very opaque and make this very, very orange, or you can just add a little flush of orangey coral to your look. I definitely love this in the summer. I am a warm toned person, so with a little bit of a tan, I just think that this is a really beautiful, flattering color. Now, speaking of orange blush, I have one here from Dior. This is number 643 Stand Out. And this one here has a lovely satin finish shimmer. I also have number 459 Chanel. I really love this one. I love the satin finish. I love the color. It's very natural. It looks like my cheeks, but better. So it's a really lovely flush of color. So this here is the Dior Skin Illuminizer in Plum Pop. And this is just such a beautiful color. It's a really deep berry with a nice little golden shift. It works for my complexion, but I think it would be even nicer on darker skin tones. And I also think that this would make an extraordinary eyeshadow as well. I don't use it that often. I find it's a product that requires a little bit of work and blending, but I think if I started using it as eyeshadow, I might use it more often. I have this blush here from Tom Ford, and this one is called Wicked. It is a beautiful cotton candy pink. It's extremely cool toned, and it just offers a nice, vibrant flush of pink. This is just a regular powder finish or powder formula. It isn't satiny, there's no shimmer to it. It's just like a flat powder. So moving on to other things that are pink and beautiful in their packaging. This is from Hourglass. This is the Ambient Lighting Blush in Radiant Magenta. So the fuchsia swirl mixed in with the gold just makes for such a beautiful package. And it also is just such an incredible blush. It is so beautiful and radiant. When I wear this, I usually opt to not wear highlighter because I find that this offers enough radiance and luminosity on its own. I was on the fence for a long time to test out some different Hourglass blushes. This is the only one that I've tried so far, and it is amazing. I totally understand what the fuss is about regarding Hourglass blushes because this one is so nice. And now we have a blush here from Thrive Cosmetics, and this one here is called Rosy, and it kind of reminds me of the Hourglass blush because it has this pink and gold swirl in it. I think there is some differences in the colors, but it is reminiscent of the Hourglass one. And I also have a couple of blushes here from MAC Cosmetics, and there is one here that is Ancient. I think this one here may actually be 10 years old because this is the MAC On a Mission Beauty Blush Powder, and I bought this when I started getting into makeup. I don't wear it anymore because it's so old. I don't think it's safe to use on my skin anymore, but it makes me really sad because this color here is beautiful. I would get so many compliments on my blush when I would wear this color here. And it just looks so flattering on me. Hopefully one day I can find a dupe for this one because I would like to wear it again, but maybe not this exact one here. And then I have another MAC blush that I have used extremely well. This was a very well-loved blush. I believe this one is called Style. And it's a nice peachy, orangey coral color. It has a little bit of a satin finish shimmer to it, so it really just adds a nice amount of glow. As you can see, it was very well loved. There's not much left in here. I don't know how old this one is. I think it has a frost finish. That's the official title here from MAC. But yeah, it was very well loved. MAC was definitely the brand that I started with. Like when I first got into makeup, about a decade ago, actually more than a decade ago, because I'm 32, and I think I got into makeup around the age of 20, 21 maybe, around that time. And yeah, MAC was the brand that I started with. And I have a lot of makeup brushes that I bought over a decade ago that I still use today that are still in really good condition. And apparently some blushes too. So this next blush here is a matte one. It's called Copper Tone. This is really nice as well. It's kind of in the Your Cheek color, but better. It's matte. It's more of a neutral color. It's not really pink. It's not really orange. It's just somewhere in the middle for a really nice, very neutral complexion color. And then I have one of their cream blushes. It looks terrible in the pan, but it's actually a really nice color. It's called Something Special, and it's been used and abused. I think there's makeup bristles stuck in there now, but it's just a really nice natural cream blush. It's kind of like this copper tone blush here, but in a cream version. It's Your Cheeks but better. It's very natural, very youthful, but in a cream formulation. Now I have this miniature blush here from Tarte Cosmetics. I have no recollection of buying this. I probably got this in a makeup kit from Sephora, like some sort of points reward system. This is called Concept. I don't think I've ever really used it. I mean, I can see that I have put my brush in here a few times. I don't remember if I liked it or hated it, so clearly it didn't really make that much of an impression on me. So I also have this miniature here of the Nars Orgasm blush. Now, I know that this blush is supposed to be a cult favorite. It's supposed to be a blush that everyone loves. It's a nice peachy, pinky color. It has a nice little satin finish. I can kind of see where they're going with it. Personally, I don't really like it. I think it's okay. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's worth the name Orgasm, if you know what I mean. I kind of think that they were trying to accomplish what Hourglass did, because Hourglass is a really nice blush with a nice amount of shimmer, but it's not chunky. It's just really natural and very glowing from within. This, to me, it's just not working for me. It's almost like too much glitter, and I find that this actually fades away during the day. It's not something that is very long wearing, so for me, it doesn't really live up to the name. This is another one that I think I got from Sephora in their points reward system. You know, you spend like $5,000 and they give you like a miniature blush or something. Now we have one from Kiko Cosmetics. I bought this when I was in Italy 3 years ago, I think. Yeah, 3 years ago. I had just discovered Kiko Cosmetics, Kiko makeup, and I went a little bit crazy and bought a whole bunch of things. And I bought this blush here. This is called Fall 2.0 Duo Blush 04 Living in Red. Nothing about this says red. It's definitely a pink blush with a little bit of orange at the bottom. It's cute. It's nothing to write home about. It was okay. It wasn't like a blush that changed my life, which is probably why I've kind of forgotten about it. And now I have a blush here from Too Faced Cosmetics. This is the Love Flush in Justify My Love. Now, the reason that I think that this is really cute is because to me, the packaging looks like a Polly Pocket. You know, the toy from the 90s that we played with? This is what it reminds me of. I think it's really cutesy. I think it's adorable. I don't think it's my favorite blush, but I keep it around because I love the thought of having a little Polly Pocket lying around in my makeup collection. Okay, now we are on to a behemoth of a category, my Chanel blush collection. I have said it before and I will say it again. I have never encountered a Chanel blush that I do not love. So let's dive in. The first category are these Rouge Coco Lip Blushes. These came out a couple of years ago. I think they're discontinued. I don't think they were a huge hit. I have the shade 414, which looks very pink in the tube, but in person on my skin tone, it's more of a corally orange color. And then number 420 is just a really intense berry color. I think these are okay. I think these are the exception to my rule that I fall in love with every Chanel blush. They are a little bit tricky to work with. The texture is interesting. It's a liquid, but you can't really tell if it's meant to be a lip gloss or a blush. It's just kind of a funny formula, and I don't really know where they were going with it, because when you pull it out, it does look and feel a little bit oily. So it doesn't feel like a regular liquid blush, and I'm just not really sure what they were trying to do with it. I keep them around every now and then when I'm doing like a really light makeup look. I'm like, oh, I can use this because you can use it on your eyes, your lips, your cheeks, but they're not items that I reach for that often. And then I have the Le Beige number 20 blush stick. I wish they would come out with more of these. Every year when they come out with a new Le Beige collection for the summer, I keep my fingers crossed that they will extend their blush stick collection, and they don't really do it, which is very disappointing. But number 20 here is supposed to be more of a bronzing color in a way, but for me, once I start blending it out, it actually ends up looking quite pink. So it's a really nice color for me in the summer. It offers me that sort of sun-kissed flush with a bit of pink. And now moving on to one of my favorite blushes here from Chanel. This is number 80 Jersey. It's what I'm wearing today. This falls in the Your Cheeks But Better category. It's a natural flush with a really natural satin finish, so it just gives you that beautiful glow. And then we have In Love, which I think is kind of similar to the shade called Malice, which we will see later. It's a little bit red, a little bit orange. It has a nice satin finish. The satin in here is more obvious than Jersey. It's a little bit more in your face, but it's just a really beautiful color and it has a little bit of red in it. So this here is Malice. This is in the new limited edition red packaging, but it's literally the exact same. It's the same formula, same finish, same everything. It's just, you know, red packaging for the suckers like me. But this one here, I guess Malice is a little bit less red than In Love. It's a bit more orangey and coral, but to me In Love and Malice are kind of in the same category. Ooh, hold on a second. Now we have Rouge Profound, which I really love. At first I was like, ooh, that's really intense, but it's so beautiful. Yes, you do have to blend it and work it out a little bit more, but the finish is beautiful. And now that I have Malice, Rouge Profound, and In Love, I think that In Love is the love child of Rouge Profound and Malice. It's like they met somewhere in the middle. I think that In Love lies somewhere between Rouge Profound and Malice. We then have Rose Pétillant, which is just a really nice, cool-toned, bubbly pink. It has a nice satin finish. This is one that I usually skip highlighter when I wear because I just find that it offers enough glow to my complexion. It's not a question of it offering lots of like chunky glitter. I just find that this is just nice on its own. And then we have Rose Initiale, which is probably my most well-used and well-loved Chanel blush. This is just the perfect everyday pink. It's not too cool, it's not too warm, it's just somewhere in the middle, and I will gradually one day finish this completely. I then also have So Close, which is super bright, super fun. This one here is a matte finish. There's no satin. Since it's such an intense color and it's matte, it's a little bit more work. It's a bit more work than Rouge Profound because Rouge Profound is a super dark, intense red, but it has a bit of satin, so it's more blendable in a way, whereas this is just a matte, super bright orange coral. I still wear it and I still love it, more in the summertime, but it's just one, I mean, look at it, like look at how bright this is. Obviously, it's not just like a little pop and go. You have to work it in a little bit more, but for me, it's worth it because I really like warm toned orangey red lipsticks, so this really goes well with that. And now we have here something that is just the most beautiful peachy color. This is the Jardin de Chanel Blush Camellia Pêche. So I love the packaging here. It's hard for me to use it because the detailing is so beautiful and so special and so delicate. But as you can see, the color is truly stunning. It's just the most beautiful peach color. I don't even know when this came out, which collection it was, but I'm really glad that I got it because it's just so cute. I feel like recently Chanel has been doing a lot of these limited edition packaging for highlighters, but they should do it more for blushes because I love the intricate details for the blushes here. All right, moving on to the blush tweed category. This one here is called Cherry Blossom, and it is the tweed pattern that is so popular and so famous for Chanel. Even when you go to a Chanel boutique, the chairs have the tweed pattern. So just seeing this in the blush just makes me so happy. It's just so special. And this cherry blossom color is very intense. It's very opaque. It kind of reminds me of Rouge Profound in that it's an intense red color. It's really just red. And then I also have this one here called Tweed Coral. This is the same family, but this one here is much more subtle, much easier to wear, easier to blend. It's a really nice soft coral color. So I just use it more because it's just less work to blend out. And then we have the Palette Essentielle. I have the shade 160 Medium Beige. I guess the blush in this palette here kind of reminds me of the color from this lip gloss blush, whatever it's called here. It's that really dark kind of berry color, but it's a little bit red also when I blend it out. It's an interesting color. I keep going back and forth on these Palette Essentielle because I like the aesthetic. I think it looks kind of cool, but it's just hard because you have to love everything in the palette to really enjoy the palette. And some days I do, some days I don't. So I can't decide whether or not I think this is a great product or a terrible product. It oscillates one day to the next. And then last but not least, we have the Voyage De Chanel. Now this is a really beautiful palette. It used to be really beautiful with beautiful detailing, but as you can see, it has been very well loved and you can't really tell what the cities are anymore. I believe it was New York, London, Paris, and Tokyo. They're all a bit faded now, but as you can tell, it was just very well loved. I like seeing this sort of complexion product from Chanel. Just, you know, special packaging, special detailing, and not just highlighters. I just feel like Chanel is coming out with a new limited edition packaging highlighter every couple of months, which is nice, but I'd rather just buy more blushes than highlighters personally. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed these swatches. I hope you enjoyed this collection and this haul. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought. Do you own any of these blushes? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Just sound off down below. Please make sure to like and subscribe to this channel because I know a lot of you who watch me are not actually subscribed to my channel. So if you would just go ahead and just hit that subscribe button, it really helps me out and it really helps my channel grow. So I think this is all I have for you guys for today. So thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you have a beautiful day and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.